Hi, I'm Gugu Motsoeneng, founder of Orange Memo. In this episode, I'll be sharing my journey from being unemployed and unsure of my path to building a purpose-driven business that empowers young people and job seekers across Africa. If you've ever doubted your starting point or felt stuck in your career, this conversation is for you. I hope it reminds you that your story still matters and that you can start right where you are.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Online Prosperity Show, where we dive into the journeys of extraordinary individuals that are transforming challenges into triumphs. I'm your host, Prosper Taruvinga, and today we are exploring a narrative that epitomizes resilience and innovation. Now, Gugu, how are you doing today?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me, and so excited to be here to share my story. I hope it inspires someone to start right where they are.
Absolutely. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Gugu means treasure, right? Google it.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much for making sure you understand.
Absolutely.
I get a lot. What does it mean? And I had to it's treasure. I'm a precious treasure.
Absolutely. And for those that are watching right now, don't you touch that dial, because Gugu is a dynamic founder of Orange Memo Careers. Now, she came from humbling days of unemployment to becoming a beacon of empowerment for young professionals and entrepreneurs. And Gugu's journey is nothing short of inspiring. She transformed her own personal challenges into a mission-driven enterprise that now equips youth with skills, confidence, and opportunities to thrive in today's competitive landscape. So in today's episode, we're going to uncover how Gugu's experiences actually shaped her approach to career development, and also the innovative programs that she's spearheading and the profound impact she's making in the communities that she's involved in. Now, whether you're seeking direction in your career, or maybe you're just aspiring to make a difference, or maybe simply need a recipe for pop, Gugu is the person to go to for that. And this conversation really promises to be valuable and, packed with insights and actionable takeaways. Now, Gugu, I could go on and talk about things that I'm not even qualified to talk about. I've already presented you as somebody who came from unemployment to founding Orange Memo, and that is quite remarkable in and of itself. Could you maybe share to us the journey from that time you were not employed to the time where you had that pivotal moment that ignited this transformation?
Thank you so much, Prosper. So I left matric in 2004. School was fun. I wish I could go back. So going through school, primary school, high school, I didn't know for sure what I wanted to do. In my early days, or rather growing up, I didn't have mentors around me to really do what I do today, right? So finishing matric 2004, I enrolled in an HR course, but I had to drop out due to financial challenges. And at the time, I still didn't know what career path I truly wanted to follow. Because no mentor, no career coach around me. So it was really confusing to pick all these things for someone who has a variety of interests. So over the years, I worked across different industries just to get to know what it feels like, right? So retail was great. My first job was being a packer at a retail store, moved to being a cashier. Then I worked in an insurance travel agency. I loved traveling, being on a cruise. That was exciting, testing different industries via call center agency, and finally went into a bigger corporate financial institution where I started as a learner, did a learnership. 10 months in, I was promoted into a permanent position. It was amazing. As a production analyst, for someone who didn't go to school to do all these things, it was a team lead position. So it was really amazing. So gaining experience, building resilience, and trying to find my place. I eventually tried to run my own construction company with my husband. They're like, okay, we're sitting at home, we don't know what to do. Let's start with painting. We can help with building, we can put things together, but it didn't succeed, right? That led to 3 years of unemployment. I was that young person that I'm today helping, which was one of the most emotional and financial difficult seasons of my life. So I'd say it's our lives also in terms of family. So then came COVID-19, and that period pushed me to think differently. I had no capital, no team, but I had my cell phone, my hurricane cell phone, my skills, and my daughter, who became my motivation. At that time, I decided, you know what, the Moses story, right? What do you have in your hand? Moses had a stick. So I had my hurricane phone. So I decided to build a business that would allow me to work from home. So I could also be fully be present as a parent while I'm making an income and creating impact. That's how Orange Memo was born, I'd say. From struggle, purpose, and a deep desire to empower others. I wanted to empower me. So I always say I am the prototype, right? And almost 10 years after leaving school, unsure of my path, I found myself in my purpose, which is people development, coaching and career empowerment. That course, that HR course I enrolled for 10 years ago, I thought it wasn't it, but today I'm doing human resources. I'm helping people get transformed, not just take tools and put them under a carpet, but to take them and transform their lives. So that's the before of me before Orange Memo.
Absolutely, and congratulations on that journey in and of itself. I mean, obviously, from what you're saying, nothing seems to be working for you, and you seem to have tried just about everything else. But in order for us to obviously get on an even keel, you mentioned that you completed metric in 2004. Now, for our international audience, what is that an equivalent of? Is that ordinary level? Is that university, or is that high school?
High school level, yes.
Absolutely. And during that time at high school, obviously you did mention there were no role models, and you obviously didn't have people that you could look up to and that could show you direction and things like that. What was it like? The people around you, what sort of jobs did they sort of have that seemingly looked like you could go to the uncle who had extra biscuits on their table? That meant, they probably were doing well.
All right. I grew up with my paternal grandmother. So for her, it was a 7 days a week week in a way. Monday to Saturday, she worked at a retail store selling clothes. In the evenings, she also did her own entrepreneurial business, selling clothes also. Sunday, she would had to go do spring cleaning at somebody else's house. So seeing her have to go through all that, just to make sure that I'm okay. My parents were living separately, also in their own homes, remarried. So I had four amazing parents. In a way, I always say I had extra 2 pair of parents, right? So looking at my grandmother, and then I would move to my parents, the 4 amazing parents that I had. Mom also worked as a dry cleaner all her life, right? And also did laundry at home to make extra income. Dad was more of a scholar like me, but he liked books, transforming himself, reading a book. I think I took that from him. So he was deep within security management. So he went from whatever grades they call from the beginning to the end until being in the management. So and then he had a tavern, right? So he sold alcohol, and then stepdad also sold alcohol back at a retail store. So that was the sound. That is my learnings in terms of job 9 to 5. There's some entrepreneurial thing going on there. Then there's the uncle who's doing well, but you don't really understand what is it that they are doing, or not having to be set down to say, what do you want to be when you grow up? For me, it was just to go to school, pass, but no conversation of then what after school. Let's do homework. Like, we have to do homework with our kids now, and it's mandatory, right? I don't remember doing homework with a parent or trying to pick subjects and all that. So that was my upbringing in a way. I took things from different, put it together to really become purposeful.
Absolutely. And as a child, we are sponges. We learn from those that are around us. And if those that are around us are not leading by the example of, a well sort of lived or well governed life, it makes it difficult for us to pick our own path and things of that nature. But you seemingly, amongst all of these other things, chose HR to start off with. Why human resources?
I started Orange Memo because I wanted to create both an income and impact, right? Yes, back then when I enrolled in that HR course, I didn't know it was because I loved it. But looking at an unemployment rate in South Africa, having been one of the statistics, probably still is, because being an entrepreneur doesn't mean you're employed, right? So having been in that emotional and difficult state, and seeing my peers going through the same thing, and me being able to go into online and figure out something, discover things like the ATS system, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get jobs because I didn't get a job, maybe because not of my skills, but because I couldn't write my CV well, right? So I started writing my CV, upgrading my CV. Then I can see, oh, the reason was how I was writing CV. The reason is how I present myself, the little skills, communication, right? How I am presenting myself. All these things are important for us to have in order for us to be successful, right? So especially for young people and job seekers who, like me, had experienced uncertainty and need practical support to move forward. And I saw a gap. Many young people had the potential. I had the potential, but lacked the confidence, clarity, and guidance to take the next step. They didn't have the tools. I knew I could help them because I had walked the path too. I can help you upgrade your CV. Because you keep on sending that CV, you don't get responses because it is not written well, not because there's something wrong with your skills, right? So from the beginning, I had a bold vision to build one of the leading youth focus brands in Africa. A brand rooted in empowerment, access, not just access to information and put it under the carpet, but access to information, to mentors, to facilitators, and that will transform you. So that needed to transform you. And 3 years in the journey, that vision was affirmed when I was honored as the ASAP Youth Connector of the Year in Kenya. I didn't even know I won. Somebody came back and said, hey, Gugu, your name was called on stage. Where were you? And I'm like, why didn't you go up and pick it up for me? Right? So that award wasn't just a win for me. It was proof that something built from struggle, purpose, and service could echo far beyond my home.
Absolutely. Now, you then went on and picked up a lot of experience in retail. You also worked in insurance and call center,
Yes.
and also congratulations. I mean, in 10 months, you got promoted into,
Yeah.
the role that you got promoted into, the team lead and things like that. Now, how did these roles sort of prepare you for what the working world looks like for other people on the outside?
Oh my God. It was exciting. I don't know if our peers or young people have the same excitement as I have. When you see a new book, when you see a new tool, when you see something new that you've never experienced or you've never used, and start using it, exploring it, functions like control alt, learning that for me was like, oh my God, you can do that, right? It amazed me. And I wanted to take each and a little bit of a learning and share it. I wanted someone who doesn't know to know about it, that I've discovered this new thing and it's going to help you. So having started as a packer, it taught me customer service. It was great because I was matched with a senior cashier who was a mentor. That's where mentoring started to unfold in my life, right? Who was like, come and sit at my chair and learn how to, serve customers as a cashier, meaning I had to now learn to be a cashier. That prepared me to be promoted to being a cashier, right? Having someone else to say, come, let me show you something so that it can help you better yourself. Then 3 months later, I moved to another store, another branch as a cashier. Right. Then I decided, okay, truly, I love being a cashier. I know how to do it. So everything that I touch, I make sure that I do it in such a way that I can do it 100%, or I'd say 90%, because there's nothing perfect. Then I need to move somewhere else. Someone said, you are like a sensation seeker, right? Looking for something exciting. Once you're done with it, you move on because you understand it. You can even show it to someone. Now you just needed to put it in your bank and move on and put something else into your skill. So moving from being a call center, I had, from the money from the cashier, I had to take myself to be a call center agent. So 3 weeks in the call center academy, learning how to be a call center agent. You're learning how to operate phones, you're learning how to communicate. That was exciting for me because that prepares you, right, for confidence. It prepares you for talking to people, speaking with people. That same week before I finished the course, I had already landed a job just down the road. I had talked to someone that I'm busy with the course. Once I'm done, please hire me, right? I already took my CV there. I sucked at that job because really, I couldn't sell. My colleagues are selling. Yeah, those call center board sales, and someone is selling. Everybody's clapping their hands. 5 o'clock, nothing, Gugu. You try to convince this person they could sell. But for me, at that time, I felt like I was selling something I wouldn't buy myself, right? So I think that was an obstacle for me between selling that product and really making a sale. I think that was the barrier. Then 2 weeks in, I quit because at that time in the background, my now 18-year-old son was in hospital. So he spent the first 2 years of his life in hospital, in and out of hospital. So during that time, I have to go to hospital. I would sleep on a hospital seat next to him, wake up 4 a.m. because the nurses are coming to do their rounds. Then I have to go take a taxi, go to work, come back. I thought, oh my God, this is too much. I don't sell here. Let me go sit with my son and just look at him. So I sat there for about a month. He got out of hospital and he never went back. If you could see him now, so handsome. So after that, I moved into merchandising, right? I loved merchandising. Stock taking, knowing what stock is in the warehouse, like I could tell you when I'm sleeping that a lunch bar box is in the corner of whatever cabinet, right? I loved packing fridges. So having to learn how to price, how to put stock into the system. The amazing part was the recipes, right? Because there's a deli in the service station. There's also where they sell food. Having to understand that when they sell a certain item or food, a serviette comes out, a flour comes out, a sachet comes out from the till. Like that systemized process from the back end to the front end was really exciting for me. So that is retail where I learned all these things. And what else really prepared me for this? I would say another role can travel, sales mostly, because it's like you're sitting in the office, but you are selling the world, right? So you had to go out and research Egypt, you research Malaysia, put together an itinerary for a client, you present it in such a way that you are going to the dinner with them. So that was really exciting, right? Having to talk to them while they are there, having to send them their tickets, making sure their car is rented, it's ready. So all that was exciting. There is no role that didn't excite me to bring me to this part. And then having been in a big corporation like a financial services provider, was I after the merchandising role, stock controlling, I saw an ad of being a learnership at a financial services organization, and I thought, oh my God, I think this would be great to just tap into the financial industry and really learn, right? Yes, I know you get a stipend. It's really little. All you have to do, you're just going to have to take a taxi and come back home. But I just wanted to learn. I wanted to know what goes in there. I applied for the role. And yeah, funny enough, in the group that I was in, they were looking for one analyst, right? So I was one among the only analyst that was put into being trained to being a production analyst. And 10 months in, you get a call from a business manager saying, hey, are you Gugu? Is this the report you wrote? Is this you wrote this report? Huh? Are you a learner? Are you sure you're a learner? No, we need to talk. There's a position in another department that needs a production analyst. You cannot be a learner. I need to move you from there. You're wasting your time there. So that is like how I got to really push myself by just loving the role. It doesn't matter what role it is. You just have to love it so that people can see the value you bring and everything can, fall into place.
There's a lot of growth that happens when all of that is happening, right? Because if you are being, exposed, like you said, to new things, your brain expands. And once your brain has expanded, obviously, you can't put it back. But while you were talking, I was trying to look on the internet. How much is a Hurricane cell phone worth?
I'm not sure now. That one, somebody gave it to me. I couldn't afford a cell phone. I'm not sure the value.
What could have been the price for it at that particular time?
Maybe 600, 700 rands. I'm not sure.
All right. So that's like 6 or
but
7.
I could connect to the internet, send an email, That's all I needed to do. Chat on WhatsApp.
Fantastic. Because you started your business on just a cell phone, that Hurricane phone and a Vision. Now, my question to you now is, how much is that Hurricane phone worth now?
Wow. I don't know if it's in the shops now, hey? Never. I don't see it anymore.
With what it created, how much is it now?
With what it created, the value. Oh my God. I'm a youth connector of the year. It created that. Everything else does not matter.
Yeah.
Was able to touch Africa as a whole, having to run a workshop for Africa while I'm sitting in South Africa for African entrepreneurs. That is what it created, It has supported over 500 young people. That is what it has created 5 years later.
There you go. And that's the value of certain things that we have, tools that we use, and normally we don't quite look at the value that they actually bring in terms of, what we go on and do. But obviously we went a little bit ahead of ourselves. So what were the initial steps that you took to bring Orange Memo to life? Because somebody might be sitting here thinking, I've got a phone, I'm watching this video from the phone, but what am I to do with this phone?
Yeah. All right. What are you to do with the phone? Wow, you're young, right? Content is king. But I just want to share in terms of my most transformative moments that really helped me to align, right? So one of the biggest transformation moments was learning that rejection is not part of the journey. I used to take every no personally, but I've come to realize that you hear many no's, but one yes can change everything, right? So my hurricane phone helped me to find a stakeholder's number, and 3 months later, 110 CVs were ordered, right? I didn't have 110 CVs were ordered because I took the initiative to talk to someone, but I only had a cell phone and said, hi, my name is Gugu Motsoeneng from Orange Memo Carriers. I help young people to upgrade their CVs. That is what I was doing at the time, right? And I shifted from constantly trying to prove myself to focusing on serving with value and confidence. That change in mindset allowed me to lead with purpose instead of fear, because when your mind is clouded with the negatives, it's easy for them to paralyze you. I stopped chasing validation and started building with intention, creating a business that reflects both my purpose and my personal values, because you don't want to be strayed and doing things that don't feel right, especially the importance of being present as a parent, right? Because I'm also a parent helping young people. They are young, so I need to be able to be the best role model for them. And that alignment between who I am and what I want, I do really want it to become my foundation. And it's not something I encourage others to pursue. Success that really feels right, it's something that must be feeling right for you. It shouldn't be because somebody else said I should do it. Not just what looks good also on paper, but it has to feel worthy, right? So taking that cell phone, for me, I wanted to add value. I wanted to be one of to add value also in my country, right? And the key insights I now teach others is that one of the biggest lessons is that self-leadership is key. You need to know yourself, your values, your triggers, your strength, all that, what makes you angry, what makes you laugh, what can you do? Do a SWOT analysis. Not just a business needs it, you yourself, you need it. And learn how to manage your energy and mindset. When you lead yourself well, you lead others better. You also lead, you also lead your surroundings, whatever it is that you're trying to do better. Upskill daily. I learn every day, right? I took myself back to school because that is important to thrive in today's world. It's not always your potential that holds you back. It's often what's missing on paper. I've seen opportunities miss me because I didn't have something to prove that I can do what I say I can do. That course, that workshop, that toolkit, investing in it could be the difference between a missed opportunity and a breakthrough. I also remind people that fear doesn't go away. It just changes form. So instead of waiting for it to disappear, learn to use it as fuel. Let it push you, right? Not paralyze you. And lastly, I've learned to serve without imposing. That's another key thing that we need to understand. Sometimes you are ready to build something big, right? My vision, Orange Memo is a big vision for me. And the people around you just are not ready yet. They're not there yet. You know, they're still coming along, right? So it doesn't really mean there's something wrong. That's okay. Keep building. Your dream doesn't need permission to exist.
You touched up on something that so many people live with, no matter how old they are, which is fear. You know, they completely are afraid. And looking at your story, where you came from a place where no one was there to show you the ropes, and you might be then in those scenarios or offices, and you start thinking to yourself, who am I to be the person that can be either selling or being that analyst and things like that? Now, what are some of the things that you do or say or teach people in order to go past the fear? Because I think fear is that one thing that even if somebody has a Ferrari, they're literally driving with the handbrake on, and that handbrake is fear.
So I'll share what I did with it for me, because there's different strategies you can find, you know, online, but we feel fear differently. My fear and yours are not the same, right? And we need to understand, what is it that we fear? Is it the outcome? Is it being successful? Sometimes people fear being successful, like the fear of being, oh my God, what if I do get that contract? Oh my God, what if I do get that job? Now what am I going to do? Already your mindset, it's working against the goal, right? So you're not really helping the situation. So what I did was is to talk to it, right? You talk to it, because these voices are in your head. You can't do it. Who do you think you how could you be a production analyst? You're only a learner, you know. Then you look at colleagues saying, why is she holding a laptop like that? We've been here for long. Why don't they give us laptop? It's not about them, it's about you. So you need to just separate what others think, because you cannot control that, because it's always going to be something or the other. Either you do right or you do wrong, but you need to be able to manage your own mindset and talk to that fear inside of you. So when it starts saying, you can't do it, you talk back, no, I can. With a smile, like literally with confidence, you speak back to it, I can do it. I am capable. I am this person. I am. So you start affirming to yourself whatever negative thing that you find yourself saying to yourself, say it back in a positive form to yourself. So just say it back in the positive form of yourself. That will help you to really push through. It won't paralyze you. It used to paralyze me. I would sit and not do nothing the whole day, because what if this happens? What if this happens? What if? And you are wasting time, because it might be a month later, 3 months later, a year later, you didn't start because you feared, what if I put that video online? What will people say? You know, it starts more. What I did was, I didn't know I could monetize online. Like, I didn't even know what online business was until 5 years ago. It's not something I knew 20 years ago, but there's something to learn every day, right? So I was able, all I did was just scream, CV, 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 because I knew I could help you upgrade a CV at that time and help you land an interview in 60, 90 days, because that is the competence. What I'm teaching now is, you need to find clarity. clarity is understanding who you are, what you like, your triggers, your strengths. You also need to understand your competence. What is it that you can do? Build a bank, write all those amazing things that you can do, right? That will boost your confidence. Then you need to find your community. Who is your community? Who are the people who have always supported you, even though you couldn't? My mother was there to buy me 30 rands data when I started with that hurricane so that I can connect, right? So that little, effort, that little thing can really change your life.
Absolutely. And from what you're saying, there's quite a lot of mix between what are seemingly traditional skills and what presents as future opportunities, because in the world that we live in right now, you're saying 20 years ago you had no idea you could sit with somebody who's in Australia, have a chat about your business, and it could actually create a podcast or video. Neither did I. And you also mentioned that sometimes you hesitate to post a video and you end up not even starting, which is basically, had I not posted the first initial video, we wouldn't have had a platform like this. So you just got to find your own starting point. But how do you then identify and integrate these elements into your programs, and especially to people that might not have the exposure that you now have, for them to have an understanding of what is actually possible for them?
So currently we are building, or rather focused on, two impactful tools that are part of Orange Memo mission to empower youth and job seekers, right? Because as much as these people are graduates, well educated, but the issue comes when you're an intern coming in, is you don't even know how to operate a computer, you don't know how to communicate, you can't even write an email. Those are the little soft skills that are seen as nice to have, right? So our mission is to really transform workshops and not just lectures, right? Make them, design them in such a way that job seekers and professionals are leaving either that mentorship program or that session, or even it's a post on our online platforms, are feeling clarity, self-belief, and they can take practical steps towards their career goals. The youth assessment toolkit is designed in such a way that, let's take out the traditional interview style, right? Where you can bring in young people. It's either you're running a program or you're needing an intern, and really get to the gist of what could they do. Let's not talk about, tell me about yourself. That question always makes everyone nervous, because that's the first question they're going to ask you in the interview.
I'm sorry,
right?
I asked you
then
that.
You're going to prefer, I'm a hard worker, I'm a creative, I'm this. But the tool says, show me the hard work, show me the creativity. Let me see you can do what I'd like you to do. If you're an intern coming into my organization, let me see what you can do if you are a program participant who applied for this certain program. Are you the person who can be able to succeed? Because we see a lot of dropped outs in programs. We see a lot of dropped outs in schools, right? We see a lot of drop because we don't know if this is the right thing for that participant. So we take this tool and customize it for that organization. So in our organization, what we did, we piloted it with young people just to see if they can be part of Orange Memo family in terms of, can they coach, right? Can they speak to a potential partner? Can they be called to a podcast like this and be able to talk about Orange Memo? So it's more of a assessment day, a challenge, right? Come and pitch to a client, you get a scenario, you get an hour to prepare yourself, you get a laptop, and that let's see what you can do. That can help determine if this person is able to do that or not, and we are able to design more targeted and effective intervention for that person and understand where they lack, what are the skills gap, what is it that we can help them going forward, instead of, no, you're not hired, right?
No, Gugu, I value what you're doing, and I really appreciate that you're giving these people an opportunity to have opportunities in life, given what skills you're actually teaching them, like you're saying, how to present themselves and how to actually showcase the value that they bring to the table. Now, my question is, I mean, obviously you're doing it, but whose job is this? Is this the government's job? Is this the parents' job? Is this the school's jobs? Or is there a tertiary institute that is not doing their part that has created this void that you are filling in?
Ooh, that's a big question. I think each and every one of us, the ecosystem, right? Each and every one of us want better, want equality, we want, right? And also there's needs that are basic needs that needs to be taken care of. I'd say for me, it is my responsibility as Orange Memo to be able to do what we can do to meet the ecosystem or partners, collaborators, same peers who are doing what we are doing. Whether it could be in the government institution, tertiary institution, whether it's in the primary schools, there is a need for us to really collaborate instead of competing and saying, I'm not going to tell Prosper my idea because he's going to run with it. Let him run with it. At least it's for a good cause. Good, right? But at the end of the day, the idea is yours, right? The skill is yours. It is all up to us what we do with our skills. If you have a skill of a coach, of a mentor, facilitator, a teacher, an accountant, whatever profession you are at, ask yourself, how are you using that to really be in the ecosystem of helping young people?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for making an attempt on that, because I visually believe we're here to live, to learn, and to contribute. And in the world that we live in order for us to live our best lives, we need to have learned how to live our best lives. And that lesson, or those lessons, should emanate from those that may have come before us. And they're the ones that should then be contributing in order for us to then be doing and have a happier existence. But from what you're saying, it is everyone's job. And when it then becomes everyone's job, then there's an importance of self-leadership, because we now all need to have an understanding of who we are and what it is that we are supposed to be doing and where we're supposed to be headed to. Now, how do you then cultivate this trait among the youth that you mentor?
I use my own experience. I've always tried to do my best at leveraging, or rather telling my stories, right? Making examples of other people's stories. Resilience is very key, number one. So cultivating resilience needs a support structure as well, because yes, you're alone there, you are in your own voices, you're thinking you can't do it, oh, you messed up that pitch, oh, they're gonna fire me, oh, I'm not able to do this, whatever, right? But that tip I shared earlier of fear, having to overcome that with talking back at those things. Those are the little things you can do. Mindfulness, right? It requires you to rest as well, because when you're not mindful, you're not present, you're not rested, you're restless. Everything it's irritable. You end up taking it because it's internal, right? All these things are internal. You end up taking it all out on either things or people. So having to understand that about yourself, it takes time. I speak about it as if it's an easy thing, but it takes time to really do a body audit of yourself, because everything it's in your body, because you get tense, you get headaches, you don't sleep well. All these things affect your body, right? So you need to be able to say, after maybe going off at someone and sitting yourself down and asking yourself, why am I angry? Or why am I acting this way? Having to reflect and now understand, oh, I'm angry because I'm tired. Oh, I didn't sleep well. Oh, it wasn't that person's fault. Those little things, you training your mind to always be in the present, to know what is it you can do. But you do need the support, because sometimes it gets too much, right? I always say, uJesu ufika ekuseni, meaning Jesus comes in the morning. That also is another thing. Most of the things happen at night. You sit, you can't sleep. You think all these things, but I promise you, in the morning, when you see the light, you see sunshine, you see other people, you go out there, you take a walk, you will feel much better. But learn to do a body audit, understand your fears, your strengths, your triggers. That really helps.
Japan. Now, you see, the thing about all of this is, somebody might be looking at you, Gugu, and thinking, you're now accomplished, you've got all of these things, all these accolades, you've had all this experience, but maybe I can't be like that. I may just have a small family to look after. I need to make sure that everything is in place, but you've actually balanced motherhood and entrepreneurship. And I know that's not a small feat, especially when you're actually working from home and things like that. And I don't think a lot of people are able to do that and still come out on top.
There's always a sacrifice. The choosing, right? In economics, they call it opportunity cost, right? Because we have so many wants, right, and needs, right? So self-leadership always goes back to self-leadership, to what is it that I can do now, to move me closer to that 5-year goal. Another thing is like trying to lose weight. You want to see results after you've done a week of running, or, it's a journey. I started from there, at the bottom. It's a journey. As long as you need to accept that it's a journey. It's not magic. It's not something that's gonna happen tomorrow. No, for me, it didn't happen tomorrow. I started Orange Memo 5 years ago, right? So it was a journey. There were so many moments I could have closed where, like, I'm not an entrepreneur, I can't do this. Oh my God, it's hard. So many no's. Oh my God, my product sucks. People don't want this. There were so many moments of that. There were moments where you don't have an income for 3 months as an entrepreneur because you chose this route, right? and like, why am I not making money? But as you learn and you find your community, your support, you find mentors, you get into these entrepreneurship programs. I got into entrepreneurship programs. You know, you learn about your business, you learn about yourself, self-mastery, right? So you get to really hone yourself and let yourself be in the journey. Don't look for a destination. I'm still in a journey. There's no, yes, there's the North Star, but the North Star will have another North Star, right? But it's a journey.
Absolutely. You know what I like about this is your journey is, I feel like it's only just getting started, but it's already earmarked with really good milestones. You know, you received the Youth Connector of the Year award in Kenya, and congratulations on that
Thank you so much.
accolade. It's quite a significant achievement in and of itself. What does this recognition mean to you and your mission?
When they sent me the certificate, I was like, how do you respond to such, and my response, because it's easy to prepare for a speech, it's easy to prepare for a podcast, but how do you prepare for something that you're so busy trying to make life and your name is announced, on the other side of the world. So my response was, thank you so much. This really will help me to really push further in empowering young people. That's what I said. I just said that, I didn't know, but it was a validation, like I said, that that young person who's watching this and they're thinking, oh, hurricane phone, cell phone, that was my struggle, right? But we choose our struggle. Like I say, you must sacrifice other things, right? So while I am busy trying to build a business, trying to sell, getting those no's, someone in Kenya was awarding me with an award, right? So while you are busy trying to put together that business idea or putting together that CV or preparing for that interview, there is someone somewhere who's recommending you. But that must have been your community. That's why I'm saying you need to build your community. It doesn't mean because you're sitting at home, you must lock yourself in the house. I am a loner. I don't have much friends. I call my colleagues friends when I see them, like, oh my God, because they're my peers. Oh my God, Chomi, my friend. But when I'm back at home, it's not like I'm going to go on WhatsApp and say, hey, friend, But I know when I need something that has to do with their expertise or their support, I can call in and say, hey, Pierre, or hey, colleague. I can still say, hey, friend, because I called you friend 3 months ago, right? Because you are my friend in that sense, right? But you need to connect with people online, right? If you are on LinkedIn, start talking to people. No one is going to kill you for saying hi. You can even start with, hi, my name is, this is who I am. You can even look at one competence that you have and just post. Tomorrow, hi, my name is, this is it. So it's not about perfection. That's another thing. I had a problem. Everything had to be perfect, this way, that way. We do it this way. That's not the spirit of partnership. When you're a collaborator, you're a partner, and you want to go and be strengthened in that journey, you would need some people around you in that journey to lean on, the buffers, that cushion that is important to start building. Networks, it's important.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, obviously, if you're watching this right now, it's always good to be reflecting on your own path and your own journey. I want to ask you a question. What
Mhm.
is maybe one challenge that you've maybe turned into an opportunity for yourself? I want you to share your experiences in the comments below. Love to hear your stories
Mm.
of resilience and growth. Now, Gugu, for those that are inspired by your story and your journey, how can they maybe get involved or maybe support the initiatives that you've started at Orange Memo?
Thank you so much, Prosper. So, if you are interested in accessing our tools, collaborating, or bringing any programs to your organizations that we currently are piloting, please do email us, Gugu Motsoeneng at orangememo.co.za. And our website is www.orangememocarriers.co.za. And on LinkedIn, we are Orange Memo Carriers. So that is us building the future skills and careers together. Let's collaborate.
Absolutely. I'll make sure that all those links are in the show notes below so that people can actually get started on that journey. Now, Gugu, when we were talking, you introduced us to the mom who was sitting next to her son while he was on hospital, and then at 4 a.m. you'd wake up and go to work and sell things that you never really wanted to in the first place, you know what I mean? And you jump into a taxi and things of that nature. If you would say maybe be walking in and around your shopping center right now, you're all relaxed, you're no longer restless like you were at that time, what would you tell that young woman who's just really trying to get things to get going, knowing what you know now about life?
I would have told her to start a business at that moment.
All right. Mm,
That's
interesting.
it.
Because none of that would have, they would have been able to learn, grow.
None of all that. None of all that.
But
Looking back, no. She should have started the business right then there, started upskilling, really finding that coach, finding that network, finding the clarity back then. Only if she had the coach or, the direction, yeah.
Now this leads me to my next question because so many people would just think, it will be what it is. It is what it is. It will work out itself. My grandfather was working, in the mines, and he turned out all right. My mother sells things in the marketplace. There's no need for me to do any career development, and there's no need for me to listen to other people, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
How do you sort of dispel such misconceptions and really help people move forward?
Um, Whatever your mother, father, or parent, uncle are doing has nothing to do with you, right? You are your own person. Let's start there, right?
Mm,
So having clarity of who you are will help you to at least determine whether you also want to be like your mother or father or something else. Um, Having clarity will help you now build that competence, right? What do you love to do? You've already discovered through career counseling, maybe personality test, whatever. That's the purpose of career counseling. That's what we do at Orange Memo. We don't try to solve a problem. We are not problem solvers, or I don't want to even feel like I'm solving your career problem, but we are helping you find your own clarity. Career counseling is asking you about you to get to know yourself. That is the session, just that session. get to know yourself. Maybe we should call that session get to know yourself session, right? A lot of people, you would find that they have so many aha moments. Oh my God, I didn't know I can do that. Now that we are talking about it, I didn't know I can turn that into something positive, right? So it's just helping them find clarity, the interferences, to help them just move around the interferences and now to the potential. Oh, I have this potential now. I can do it, right? You get messages like, through everything else, you help me believe again. Those are the messages, the testimonials that we get. Having to hear someone say that, then I believe everybody else can believe again.
Absolutely. It sounds like, Gugu, you're literally giving people back to themselves, because these people would have obviously had you not created that pattern break in their life. They would have just kept going and going, because fish don't see the water that they
Autopilot.
swim in. Wow. Now, for
But
those that...
career clarity is important. Then you can now develop your career. When you don't do that work first, you won't see the need for career development.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking us on this journey and showing us what is possible. Even now, I'm looking at my phone differently, because this could mean an award in New Zealand or in South Africa or things of that nature. Now, what's next? What are you working on that we can be excited about and, just be a part of the things or the initiatives that you've got going on?
Thank you so much. As mentioned earlier, I'm currently focused on 2 impactful tools that are part of the Orange Memo's mission to empower youth and job seekers. The first one is the Building Career Confidence series. So it's a masterclass, and it's a series of masterclasses, workshops designed to help job seekers and professionals who are feeling stuck, unclear, and unmotivated. It helps them build clarity, self-belief, and take practical steps towards their career goals. The second one is the Youth Assessment Toolkit. I also mentioned it earlier. So this one is created for NGOs, educators, and youth-focused programs. This toolkit helps assess young people's readiness for work, mindset development, and personal growth. It's a powerful tool for designing more targeted and effective interventions. So if you are interested in accessing these tools, collaborating, or bringing these programs to your organization, please do contact us on our email. Prosper will make sure it's on the link there.
Absolutely. Well, Gugu, I can't thank you enough for the time that we spent on the show today. I mean, your life story and your experience have so much value for all those people that are seeking, growth personally, especially when it comes to their career and things of that nature. So thank you so much for joining us on this enlightening episode of the Online Prosperity Show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prosper. Have an amazing day further.
Absolutely. Now, for those that are watching, obviously, Gugu's story is a testament to the power of determination, vision, and community support. And I think her work at Orange Memo Careers really continues to inspire and uplift, countless individuals that are seeking purpose and direction. So if today's conversation resonated with you, consider obviously sharing this episode with somebody who could benefit from Gugu's insights. Just look around you. There's probably people that are stuck in a dead-end job or stuck in, the unemployment line, and there could be something that they don't quite realize that they are capable of. Can you imagine if fish actually knew that we pay money for swimming lessons? You can only imagine how many businesses will be in the sea there. People teaching us how to swim. So there's certain things that you can do that a lot of people may not be able to do, and you might just take it for granted. And if somebody shared this with you, thank them, because they really do care about you. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the Online Prosperity Show for more stories that empower and educate. Now, I want you to stay tuned for our next episode, because the schedule is heavy. We will be exploring innovative ideas to enhance your well-being and happiness. Until then, keep striving for prosperity and purpose in all you do. Bye for now.